Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to discuss the interview question that were asked to me in PWC interviews. Before starting this video, if you have not subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon for upcoming and interesting videos. So without wasting any further time, let's move to the questions. First question for the video is, explain your current project. I have already discussed this question in the previous videos. You can go and check out how you can explain your current project. Based on this question, next question was, which connection are used in your project? So Tableau has two type of connection, that is live or extract. You can tell them based on your project. Okay, now next question is based on that, what's the difference between live or extract? Live is basically working with the real-time data. Any modification at the data source level will be reflected at our dashboard whenever we open it. Okay, extract is basically whenever we need a subset of the data, we use extract. Instead of taking the whole data, we take a subset of data. Let's take an example. Let's say we have a data of 10 years at our database, but we need 5 years of data or any other condition. Okay, so for that you can use extract. Extract obviously work faster because we are working on the less amount of data, and real time will take some time. And when to use live and when to use extract is basically depend upon the requirement. We have a requirement where need a real time of data to check like every second what type of tickets are raising. So for that kind of thing we can use live, and extract is basically whenever we have a sales data and it will be reflected weekly, monthly. For that we can use extract. Okay, that depends basically upon requirement to requirement. Next question is, what is order of operation? Order of operation is basically in which the filters are applied. It will be extract filter, data source filter, context filter, dimension filter, measures filter, and then table calculation filter. Okay, now based on that, next question would be, how does fixed LOD interact with context filter compared to dimension filter? As you know, whenever we apply fixed LOD, the filters or anything that we applied will not work here. Okay, so how it will do is, if you look at the position of the fixed LOD comes after the context filter. Okay, whenever we apply context filter to a visual where fixed LOD is used, what it will do is it will recalculate the value for the fixed LOD and then gives a return. Okay, but fixed LOD is applied before the dimension filter, so whenever we add any dimension filter or anything, it will remain same in our dashboard. Okay, what is the use case of include LOD? First, we should know what is include LOD. As the name suggested, include LOD is include more details in the calculation than what is shown in the chart or view. Okay, there are classic example of include LOD is to find average sales per customer in each region. Okay, there can be multiple example as well, but I would suggest to always explain the use case of include LOD that you have used in your projects. Okay. Next question is, what's the difference between join and blend in the Tableau? Join is basically used to connect the data from single data sources, and blend is used to connect the data from multiple data sources. Okay, what join will do is it will take the two tables and combine them into a single table. What blend will do is it will keep both the tables separated and combine them based on some common fields. Okay, next question is, what's the difference between date name and date part function? Okay, so what date name will do is it will help you to get the name of the specific part of the date. Okay, let's say I want to find out the month or maybe weekday of a specific date, so I can go and write it down, date name, then our month or weekday, and then date. Okay, so it will return a string value. Okay, date part is opposite to date name. What's the use of date part is to get the numeric value of a part of a date. Okay, let's say I have a date and I want to find out the month or the weekday from that date. So what I would do is I will go with the date part and get the number value of that. So it will return numeric value. Okay, if I summarize is, date name will return the string value and date part will return the numeric value. Okay, how do you implement RLS in Tableau? Okay, we can implement the row level security by using the user functions. I have already created a separate video on it. I will provide the link in the description box. Okay, let's move to the scenario based questions. First scenario based question was, how do you handle dynamic measures and dimension in the Tableau? So we can handle or we can create dynamic measures and dimension with the help of the parameter. First we need to create the parameter and give the name, and then we can create a calculated field and call our parameters, and then based on the value of the parameter we can call the fields that we want to make dynamic. Okay, so with the help of parameter you can make dynamic measures and dynamic dimensions. This question can be asked in the hands-on round as well, so you should know how you can use that parameter to make dynamic measures and dimensions. Okay, how do you handle a scenario where a dashboard is taking too long to load? Whenever interview asks this type of question, you should always divide the answer into the three parts. One is at the data level, second one is at the calculation level, and third one is at the visualization level. Okay, if we talk about the data level, sometimes what happen is whenever we load the data, we have a huge amount of data, but actual data that we use in our dashboard is very less. Let's take an example. Let's say we have a 5 years of data, but at the dashboard level we are just using 2 years of data. So we can eliminate these 3 years of data to speed up or improve the performance of our dashboards. Okay, let's say you can't make the change at the view level. So what you can do is you can take the help of the custom SQL query and you can minimize the data. Also, you can apply the early filters, let's say data source filter or extract filter, to minimize the data. Okay, instead of choosing the live, you can go with the extract if possible, and you can minimize the data based on your requirements. Okay, if we talk about the calculation, instead of creating the string calculation, try to make the boolean calculation, because boolean work faster than string. Okay, and sometimes we use the complex calculation at the Tableau level. So instead of creating this complex calculation at the Tableau level, if possible, try to push all of this calculation at the backend level or at the SQL level. Okay, it will help you to improve the performance of your dashboard. And if we talk about the visualization, take care of the visualization and don't put too much visualization into a single dashboard. Try to divide them into the multiple parts so that dashboard will take less time to load the data. Okay, this type of things you can explain while explaining this kind of questions. Okay, this question can be asked like how you can increase the performance of the dashboard. Okay, now let's move to the next question. How to hide data for category 1 but needs to include in the total? For this, you can write down the calculation and you can follow this calculation. If category is equal to category 1, then null, else sales. Okay, so with the help of this, you can hide the data for category 1, but that will be included in the total as well. Okay, now let's move to the SQL question. What's the difference between row number, rank, and dense rank? You can refer this table to differentiate between row number, rank, and dense rank. Row number is basically assign a unique sequential number to each row. No special handling. If there is a tie between the value, it will assign a unique value to each one of the value. Okay, rank will assign the rank based on the value order. If the two value has the same rank, then the next rank will be skipped. Okay, dense rank will be similar to rank but doesn't skip the rank after the ties. Okay, next question is how to find top 3 reason by sale. This is one of the most common question from the SQL point of view. You can write this SQL query by using this. I have just written a sample. You can create based on your requirement. Okay, that's it for this video. Thank you so much guys. If you like the video, please do like, share and subscribe, and stay tuned for upcoming videos.